I remember coming into one of the first meetings, and Haack's just so chilled. And he's like, does anyone need anything? And then I just remember some guy saying like, yeah, can I just get like a rangefinder, please? And he's like, of course. And it was like an Oprah show. He's just giving out stuff. And I'll just take a Trackman and a Mustang too if I can. And it was just funny seeing the change of this is something new where you can just get anything you want.
Mm-hmm. The Nike Christmas that we get in August each year is pretty sick. Awesome. Where you just show up and there's a bunch of stuff in front of your locker. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's one of the coolest feelings ever.
Mm-hmm. Hey guys, welcome to episode 2 of the Dawg Leg Show. We had a lot of exciting stuff going on in this episode. We have our head coach coming on as our first, special guest. There's a lot of exciting, cool stories about him talking about the current team and past teams and stuff like that, which is very cool, a cool perspective to see. Obviously, our third guy is out, Caleb. He's sick this week, so we had one of our teammates, Ben slide in this week, and he shared some cool stories and stuff. So there's a lot going on in this episode. Talked about obviously some stuff going on in the current game of golf, but it was a fun episode.
Make sure you guys follow us on all of our socials. We will have this episode on Spotify, YouTube, iPodcasts, you name it. Go follow it at the Dawg Leg Show, DAWG. Socials, Instagram, Twitter, or X, and TikTok. So make sure you follow those. Comment on the YouTube video. Let us know who you guys want to have. We've got a list of people that we're thinking about, but let's hear it from you guys. So make sure you guys tune in the next couple weeks. Should be fun.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the biggest thing we could probably start with today is what happened a couple days ago with Nick. Well, first off, let me introduce our new guy.
Our sub.
Yeah, our sub. Garth's out with the flu today, Caleb Manuel. So we brought on our South African friend, Ben Van Wyk. Welcome.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks for coming on.
Legendary. Yeah. Thank you.
But so pretty big news out of the golfing world a couple of days ago. We had the first amateur since 1991 win a PGA Tour event. So that's obviously pretty momentous stuff. And also had another one of our college golf comrades sign with Liv from Tennessee, Caleb Surratt. So pretty big news. What are y'all's thoughts on Nick, first of all? Because, watching that was pretty crazy.
I think that was awesome. The best thing possible for amateur golf. Seeing how the best amateur golfers compete up against the pros. And he's obviously one of the best, but he showed that he can beat anyone. So I think that's great for golf.
Yeah. I mean, obviously he won the USAM this year, but I think it's a little different to win a professional event. I mean, he was in the final group with Justin Thomas and Sam Burns, and that definitely showed that he's for sure good enough. And it'll be interesting to see what he does. I mean, if I was in his shoes, I think I would definitely turn pro. This week, I wouldn't be coming back to school, but I don't know. But we'll see what he does. Obviously, he's not playing in the Farmers Insurance Open this week, but
I think he's kind of getting all of his ducks in a row, to be honest.
Yeah, I think getting all that stuff figured out. And obviously, you mentioned Caleb going to Liv. I mean, I don't know if he's talking to them. I mean, who knows? A lot could be going on with him, but yeah.
But I mean, I think the biggest thing it shows. I mean, obviously, between college and the PGA Tour, there's always been a significant change in skill, but I think that just between some of the tournaments we play, some of the courses we played, Ben, I know you can attest to this, the gap is narrowing quickly between the transition from college golf to the PGA Tour. Just I think with the way we prepare, some of the equipment we have, that average Division I college has access to, it's the same stuff they have out there. Obviously we don't have tour trucks, but that we can get whatever type of golf club we want made. But in terms of preparation, nutrition, fitness, that stuff along those lines, it's more similar, at both levels than it's ever been. So that's kind of a perfect storm for that gap narrowing. So
Yeah, everyone wants it more these days. So I guess everyone's just working harder and cutting down the boundaries in order to get the win. So
Yeah.
golf's harder than it's ever been now, and that accounts for all sports, I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you saw it too with like Michael Thorbjornsen. Like, he finished 4th at the Travelers like a year ago.
Yeah.
And I don't remember if he was in contention the whole tournament or if he had a big last day that shot him up there, but he was still close. I mean, he finished 11th.
I mean, he was one back on the back nine, so
Yeah.
he was right there.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's come close a couple times. I mean, I'd be interested to see, over the next few years if you started to see, obviously, I'd be interested to see if more college kids start trying to just go do Monday Qs, see what happens. Like, now that they've seen somebody they've played with go do it, like,
I wouldn't be surprised if some amateur or some new pro wins a major soon or does something crazy now.
I feel like it could be.
He's opened the gates now for everyone. I think.
What Sam Bennett was an amateur in the Masters last year too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so there's been some big weeks, which is kind of crazy, but I don't know. I mean, but Caleb signing with Liv was pretty big news too. Like, that kind of came out of left field a little bit, just because, I mean, he's my age, a sophomore in college, and he's just going to sign with John Rahm's Liv team. So,
Yeah, he's on Rahm's team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's,
Not a bad team. Man.
Yeah, not a bad team.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, maybe just to play into, like, I know we were talking about the gap narrowing. I mean, like I said, like, some of the courses we play are just, like, a total kick in the teeth. Like, I mean.
Calusa.
Yeah, Calusa. Yeah, like, I mean, I know just from my one day of experience at Greyhawk last year that place is brutal, too. Like, it prepares you, for sure. But
Yeah, Calusa and Greyhawk are top 3 hardest courses I've ever played in my life. And nationals, like, it's like passes nationals, so.
yeah.
Calusa.
Playing Augusta is pretty eye-opening, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, the first time, you don't realize how long it is. Like, it is so long.
I had about 3 hybrids rescues in the back.
You remember?
Like that
You
day.
remember the
I was
drives
like-
we played together last year when we were
Yeah.
out there, and like the I think we both hit like really good drives on 11. Like, we both nuked it,
Yeah.
and it was like a middle-ish back pin, 236.
Jeez.
It was warm that
Yeah.
day too. I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't like firm, but I
Yeah.
mean, it wasn't cold. Yeah, the place is long. It's brute. Well, Ben, do you want to tell us a little bit more about yourself, your story?
Sure, yeah.
Go ahead.
Went to Augusta University for 2 years. My brother was there, older one, Alex. So he was my introduction, so it was nice and easy in the beginning. Then as soon as I got in the transfer portal, that's when my younger brother also came to Augusta. So I just missed him. If I stayed for one more semester, it would have been like 3 brothers in the university, which would have been cool. We definitely wouldn't have lived together because that would have been chaos. But yeah, then I transferred. One of the best moments of my life was getting the phone call from Hacker when he told me there's good news and bad news. And that was actually like when that was the week of Lake Oconee. So he rang me and told me the good news, and I put the phone on mute while my other coach was in the room, and I started screaming. And then came here, and that was the best decision of my life. So loving it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We'll go back to, because I wanted to say something about what's the word? When you always wear your red jacket, what do you call that again?
Big Red?
Big Red.
Yeah, not that.
Superstition.
Yeah, superstitions.
Superstition.
I refuse to believe in superstitions, and yeah, so many of them. It was funny, like last year we were leading, like team was leading everything, and every day because me and Carter always just drive with Hack in the car. That's just how it goes. So we get in the car, and Hack is like, Ben, why aren't you sitting in the same spot you sat yesterday, like we're leading? I'm like, just because you said that, I'm getting in the other car. So we got in the other car, and he was kind of losing his mind. I'm like, Coach, don't worry about it. No superstitions needed here. And then went in the other car, got there, and then the team won. So let's go. We got it. So I don't do superstitions no more.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to get used to that, Coach.
I swear, when we were out at SECs, he was like, I remember there was one instance where where I forgot which hole it was. What's the par 5 that like the DawgLeg left par 5 out there on the back 9? I think it's 15.
Yeah.
On 15, he wanted to go stand in the fairway and watch you guys hit, and then he wanted me to stand behind the green. And he was like, and if there's a birdie, don't move from where you are. Stay still. Do not move at all. And of course, I forgot who the first person to come through was. It might have been Connor, but whoever it was made a birdie. I literally was on one knee. I didn't stay, so his superstitions have bled over into me. I literally stayed there for 5 groups in that same sitting position. It was the most uncomfortable thing ever.
That's crazy.
But I was like, if I move, I have a feeling A, he's going to see me move, and B, somebody's going to make a par. I'm going to have to deal with that. But yeah, well, obviously last spring you had a big win when we really actually needed somebody to go play super well at regionals. So kind of walk us through that a little bit.
Yeah, that was a fun week, obviously winning with the team and me myself. But the week prior to it, I did like this swing change with my irons, like keeping my right heel, planted. And I guess it started working one day, and I'm like, this has to be the, every golfer says this is the cure, this is it, Yeah. And then I guess I just believed it for that week. It worked well. And then me playing well the first day with Connor and Caleb, the whole team was like, we were dominating from the first round. I guess seeing each other lead on the top just motivated each other. And I guess we got it done.
Yeah, that was. I remember that being a big week too, just because we hadn't had much success last spring at all, and we needed obviously that's really the one week of the year that you have to play good. I mean, how many teams were in a regional field? Like,
I think 12.
12?
But the thing was also too, the week prior, if we should one shot worse that final round at SECs, we don't go to regionals.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
we were really close to 500.
Our team played, we kind of scrounged it out in the end at the back 9 at SECs to get in. And then all of us were like, okay, now, because the whole year we've been on the back foot, not doing what we're supposed to be doing. Mm-hmm. Just like getting these bad lucks, all these, the short end of the sticks. But we pulled it together that week, so that was so cool. And then even leading up to nationals, I think we were leading at a stage. But the momentum was on our way for sure, yeah.
Yeah, that was baller, for sure. But yeah, I remember watching, for that week just seemed different to me, the way everybody was moving around. And it seemed like that was like the week everybody, like we had talked about it the whole season. We were like, if 1 week, like everybody hits the ball really well on this team, like if we play how we know we can, then we're going to win a golf tournament. That was a really good field too. Yeah. Super good field.
Florida won, they were there. Texas were there.
Illinois was there.
Yeah.
There was a couple teams that made it to match play that were there. So yeah, it was a legit field of teams. But
it was cool to see because all of us on the team can beat each other.
Yeah.
We beat the best teams there, so
very
we can
high
compete with anyone.
element. Yeah, there's a super high element of team competition. At least since I've been here, there's never been in the past, I guess there's been guys who've really set themselves apart, and I think we've kind of seen that with you lately. You've been playing some really good golf, but it's never it's still been really competitive with like everybody on the team. Like it was kind of like that last year, and it's going to be like that even more this year with everybody we have.
Yeah, that's why the qualifying is always so hard because everyone just keeps on beating each other, and then it's have to find a way to make the team, I guess.
Yeah.
And then when you get to the tournament, because the qualifying's been that hard, then the tournament's like, I've done this. I've done this like 7 times last week, so.
Yeah, so we got a little match play deal going on right now too.
We do.
Who's left in that?
Have you played Buck yet?
No, so I need to play Buck tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Then the winner plays
Cam. Yep, and then winner of that plays Creasy, Connor.
No, I think Carter.
Me, and then
That's right.
Whoever comes out of there too has to play.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And then somebody's got to beat Connor twice now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tall order.
Come on.
Well, actually, since we asked Hacker this, if you were like what Patrick just said a minute ago, if you were gonna choose a 4-hole stretch at Augusta to play, you couldn't play any other holes in the golf course, just a 4-hole stretch, what would it be?
I liked what Hacker said with like 12 to 16, but I like 1 through 4 too.
Yeah.
Like, it's a hard stretch, but that's why I kind
Two's
of
a
like
super
it. You
cool
know?
hole.
Yeah. 2's cool, 3 is nice, and 4 is one of the most brute par 3s ever. So. And just the fact that you're teeing off one of Augusta National is like.
Those are holes that suit you really well too.
Yeah. So.
Like three, you would do well on 3.
My little rescue.
Yeah.
So
Perfect.
yeah.
It's perfect.
But I have to add to extending that on that question, Oakland Hills has to be my favorite golf course I've ever played.
That one's pretty
And
cool.
taking obviously Augusta National is not part of the debate because that's a class of its own. But yeah, Oakland Hills, I'm gonna go back there for sure.
That place is nuts. There's not a tree on that place, almost.
Perfect square tee boxes.
Yeah.
Green was flush.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that place was sick. It was weird without the clubhouse,
Yeah.
but I mean, as far as just like experience goes and design, it was crazy.
Yeah. They've
Absolutely
had
nuts.
multiple majors, no? I think like 10 or 12.
Oh yeah.
I think it was, I think they've hosted like a stupid amount of USGA events between US Opens and US Amateurs and just other USGA events. They've hosted just
Bunch.
Yeah, a bunch. So, yeah, obviously, that was kind of. Did we know we were even playing there last year? That was kind of a surprise, no? When we played
Think
last
so,
year,
yeah.
I feel like it was kind of a surprise. Yeah,
That's
that was
just
cool.
one of Hacker's things where he takes you up.
Yeah.
And then like just
Get there
tells you,
a
oh,
little bit
we're
early."
playing one of the best courses in the world today. Okay. That's also one of the cool things when I got here first, because like I come from a smaller school to like UGA, and it's like whoa, it's like 40,000 people, like the football facilities. You walk past all these famous people that win like gold medals at the Olympics, and they're still at school and stuff, and you're like, this is crazy. I remember coming into one of the first meetings, and he's just sitting there, and I've got like my arms crossed, sitting all at order and everything, and Hacker's just so chilled, and he's like, does anyone need anything? And then I just remember some guy saying like, yeah, can I just get like a rangefinder, please? And he's like, of course. And it was like an Oprah show. He's just giving out stuff. And I'll just take a TrackMan and a Mustang too if I can. And it was just funny seeing the change of this is something new where you can just get anything you want. Even going past, I hope Hunter doesn't listen to this, but the equipment room, I was like my shoe was sore, like the shoes weren't fitting the one day or something. And I just walk in there, and he's like, yeah, I'll just come into my office. And he like measures my feet, and I'm like, whoa. And then he goes on the Nike website, and he's like, do these shoes, Nike. I'm going to say Adidas too, so just watch. And he pulls up the Nike website, and he's like, do you like these shoes? And I'm like, yep. Yeah. And he's like, do you like this color? And I'm like, yep. Then he goes to the next pair, and I'm like, do you like these? I'm like, nah, I don't like that color. And he adds like 6 pairs of shoes, and I'm like, jeez, Christmas came early, and he adds those to the cart, and the next week I had 6 pairs of shoes. So, yeah.
How would the basket of
cool.
stuff that you get here, how would that compare to what you got at Augusta? Because I mean, the Nike Christmas that we get in August each year is pretty sick.
Awesome.
Where you just show up and there's a bunch of stuff in front of your locker. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's one of the coolest feelings ever. But we got a fair bit at Augusta, but like we get more shoes here. Golf clothes, like we get so many
much.
golf shirts
Yeah.
and jackets and stuff, and then also just like random stuff that give us any given day, where we get like this cool, gets those military American flags stuff.
Yeah.
Just we get a lot more,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got that hat George was wearing today.
Yep. Yeah. This hat today.
Dropped off after workouts.
Got 2 new shoes today. So yeah, we're living good for sure.
Yeah, we're dialed.
Yeah.
We're dialed.
Me and
now.
Benny had definitely kind of seen like the most change, I would say, for sure. Because like the school I came from, like we didn't get near as much as this. Like, I mean, I'd get 1 pair of new golf shoes a year or whatever. But yeah, no, I think I've gotten 4 I think.
And,
it's January.
If you want some more, just go milk.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But
Nike. I forgot you call it Nike. And Adidas.
I mean, how do you spell Mike?
Huh?
How do you spell Mike?
Mike?
Yeah.
Well, it's the goddess of victory. It's just how you say it.
But then how do you say Adidas?
It's Adidas.
Really?
It's also soccer.
I think my time here is done. I'm going to leave.
Jeez, I'm going to make him get up and leave. Oh, Lord. Well, I think that's just about all we got.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Ben, thanks for
yeah, thanks for
subbing in for Caleb for the week. Hopefully Caleb will be back next week and
he'll be back. Thanks, champions.
Yeah,
of course.
Absolutely. All right, bro. Deuces.
Benny.
If you guys stay tuned, we'll have a guest on this week, Coach Haack, head golf coach at UGA. So stay tuned. We got some pretty good questions for him today.
Pretty much have two guests on.
Yeah,
now.
we had two. We had dual guest day, which was awesome.
Yep. So we have Hacker coming on next, and excited for that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, it's a good interview for sure. Tune in. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Dawg Leg Show. Today we have on our first guest, the guy who runs the show for us over here at UGA Golf, Chris Haack. He is an 8-time SEC champion, 2-time national champion, 2-time coach of the year. Is that correct? 2-time coach of the year?
I don't know. Yeah, could be.
Could be. Accolades. You get on the list. This guy's done it all. Been here for 28 years. Is this 28?
29, yeah. Yeah, 28. That's right.
Yeah.
This is year 29.
Yeah. So we're gonna be asking him a few questions today. You know, how he got into golf coaching, and kind of his story. So, that kind of leads me into my first question for you. And this was something I didn't know. I know you started off with the American Junior Golf Association and helped to build that, and that's obviously the biggest junior golf association around today. I played a lot of those events coming up, and I was always curious how you got into coaching, but there's an interesting story behind that with Tiger Woods and the Cannon Cup. So,
well, first of all, thank you for having me as your very first guest.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
I'm very honored. Yeah,
it's an honor
to be the very first guest on the Dawg Leg.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
It's only fitting.
That's great.
Yeah.
So when I was with the AJGA, I did that for 16 years, but in the early 90s, we created an event called the Cannon Cup, which is still going to this day, but I think it's called
the Wyndham Cup now.
The Wyndham Cup,
East versus West, yeah.
And so back in those early days, we were just trying to figure out what we were going to do, with 10 boys, 10 girls from the East against West. I was captain in the West. Stephen Hamlin was captain in the East. And in those days, we would basically have our staff kind of pick the teams, but each coach got 2 captain's picks that he could use to his discretion. And so I had seen a young man play golf at age 13 that I decided I was going to put on my team because I really liked what I saw. He wasn't a member of the AJGA at the time. I'd seen him play at the Big I. And I remember when I put him on the team, he was going to turn 14. We were at Lake Nona. He showed up immediately, had him throw some clubs on a cart, took his dad to the room, and I wanted to go see what I had, and put him on the cart with me. We went and played 9 holes, and I thought, I'll be okay. It was a young man named Tiger Woods. So I knew at that point that I had something special, and I ended up having Tiger on my team for 4 years. And so when Dick Kopus planned to retire, and a couple of guys called me about coaching, that experience made it much more interesting for me to try to get into coaching because I loved that team atmosphere. I loved being able to be around a team, and that was really fun. So that's what kind of got me interested in it. And I thought, I'd pursue this, and I did, and of course I've loved it ever since. Yeah,
that was a story I never knew because I was always, curious how you made the transition from that, the first junior, kind of running the junior golf tour to that. But
and what was really funny when I got to Georgia, so at Georgia, guys that were on the East teams, like Derek Jackson, Mark Northey, eventually Ryuji Yamada. These were all guys who were on the East that I played against when I was captain in the West.
Yeah.
So I knew they were good because they whipped our booty a couple of times.
Yeah.
And I knew they were good players. So I was happy to have those guys on my team here.
I was about to ask,
Yeah.
did you win all 4 years with Tiger?
No. I think we won 2 of the 4.
Really?
But they had some pretty good teams too. In fact, I remember the very first year, the final match at Lake Nona, we had already been beaten, but I had paired it this way. Tiger was playing against Stuart Sink. So that's, again, kind of shows you the level of golf that was going on at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 good names, for
Two
sure.
very good names, yes.
So, as I mentioned earlier, 2-time national champion. I know this is kind of a tough one to choose from, but between the two, between 99 and 05, which one's your favorite of the
Man, both of them have just obviously great memories, and I got to talk about both of them because obviously 99 was the very first one, and that's always going to be special. But we were playing such a hard golf course. Hazeltine was incredibly hard. We shoot 23 over and win by 3. Looking back on it, we were the only team in the tournament that didn't have a score in the 80s. That's how hard that golf course played. And again, anytime you get that first one, it's just always going to be special. But then the second one, gosh, was equally special for a couple of reasons. We're playing a really hard golf course, Caves Valley. And I can't remember what we shot there to win, but I want to say we were probably 13 to 15 over, somewhere in there. But that one was very, very gratifying and, again, great golf course. But we ended up just coming out of the gates, Kevin Kisner shooting 65 the first round and just kind of setting the tone for us. But we ended up going into the final round with a 9-shot lead over Georgia Tech. Now, you can imagine sitting on a 9-shot lead against your biggest rival,
Didn't
Georgia
used to be match
Tech.
play either.
And, this wasn't match play. This was stroke play.
Yeah.
And, again, I didn't sleep very good that night thinking, if I lose a 9-shot lead to Georgia Tech, they're gonna hang me up by my ankles in Athens. But to make it, extra special, we not only went out and didn't even come close to losing, but all 5 guys shot 70, in the final round on a really hard golf course, to know that we never had any pressure on us because all 5 guys were playing good. A lot of times you get out there and you're 4-legged or 3-legged and you got to have somebody, finish it off. But we were never even close. So I was able to walk around Caves Valley in a pretty good frame of mind the whole day and not get too stressed out. But gosh, both of them really special. Yeah, I really can't tell you which one's more special. They're both equally special. It's like having 2 kids. You can't have 2 special kids. They're both very special.
Yeah.
They're both my favorite.
For sure. There's a funny story. I remember you told me, or maybe Douglas told it to me last year. Obviously, you and Doug are very superstitious on the golf course.
Superstitious.
You guys have had your superstitions. Was it? I think it was Caves Valley where you walked around in the rain suit the whole day.
No. That was.
Was that 99?
That was in 99.
Yeah.
That was at Hazeltine.
Tell that story.
So yeah, I was always superstitious. Now you got to remember, back in those days, you could only have one coach. So you couldn't have 2. So Douglas would go and he would work either the par 3s or walk with somebody, whatever. So I was just basically set to be a spectator like everybody else walking around. But if, at Hazeltine in the morning when we got up, it was cold. So I had my full rain suit on and the guys could always kind of tell how we were playing because by the time they were making the turn, it had gotten pretty warm. I still had my full rain suit on, and I can remember Mark Northey coming by, and he goes, "We must be playing okay. You still got your rain suit on." I was sweating. I was so hot. So yeah, those type of things would definitely happen if I wasn't changing anything, or if I was leaning against a tree and we made a birdie. I might keep leaning against that tree. I leaned against a bunch of trees. At Caves Valley, I remember I had a coin in my pocket that I was flipping, and I saw a birdie, so I had to keep flipping that coin. I was flipping that coin all day long. I had the strongest right thumb of the week because I was flipping that coin constantly. But yeah, very superstitious. You see something good, you stick with it.
No, yeah. I remember that from riding around with you for 3 days at SECs last year.
Oh yeah,
being close to the number for match play. There was like, okay, you were standing here, just stay there. You just made a birdie.
I told you, don't be leaving your wingman over here. Don't be leaving me.
I remember one day I was a sub, so I'd get there. I'd get out to the course a little bit late some days because I'd be practicing in case I went in, and if I showed up a little bit too late, we weren't playing very good. Hack would be like, "Where have you been? Where have you been this whole entire time?" Like, "I've been on the range just doing my stuff." He's like, "You got to show up sooner. We've been struggling." Yeah. And
then you'd catch me singing a song over and over and over again.
Don't stop me now.
Yeah. In fact, when we were in Michigan, remember I was singing that the whole time.
Oh yeah.
And Benny and the boys led us to a victory there.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah. Man loves his queen.
Yes.
Got to.
Well, switching gears a little bit. Thanks for coming on again, Coach. So I think right now, I think we have 12 PGA players and / live golfers out there right now. So my question to you is kind of what makes Georgia so special, and why do you think like we've been so successful in having PGA Tour players kind of make it out of here?
I think it's a combination of a lot of things. First of all, I think we've got the greatest golf fraternity going. I mean, look at this place. It's phenomenal, and I think we always have a really good atmosphere here. We've got a lot of good guys here, but I've always kind of chalked it up to we do a lot of competing here. Everything is about competition, whether it's chipping competition, putting competition, running the gauntlet, qualifying. Our qualifying is pretty much a thing of the past for a lot of teams where they still try to keep some picks in their pocket. I don't necessarily do that. I like guys to compete for it, and you learn really fast here that you got to play for your playing time.
Yeah.
And there's no difference than when you go to the next level, where you go to the Korn Ferry Tour or the PGA Tour. You're always constantly qualifying, trying to get to that next level. And, I think our guys are just used to it. I think they get out there and they just know that it's all about competing and nothing's going to be given to you. And so I think they just get a little bit more comfortable with it here over a 4 or 5 year period. And I'm hoping that's what helps them. And I know that in talking to a lot of the former players on tour, that's what they always say was one of the best things that ever happened to them. So I think aside from our competitive nature, it's just a good schedule, good guys, good team camaraderie, and a great golfing fraternity. And I think that's just been a nice feather in our cap.
Teaches you discipline too, for
sure.
Yeah, qualifying as much as we do.
I think a lot of people don't understand in college golf, the NCAA limits you on how many hours a week you can actually have your team doing things, right?
Yeah.
And so it requires me and Coach Douglas and now Coach DeMoss to really recruit the kind of guys that we want in our program that are self-motivated, are willing to get out there and work on things on their own. Because if I've got to tell a guy that they need to be out here working on their golf game, I probably have the wrong guy. And that's why we recruit like-minded guys who all like to be out here. They're golf junkies, they're golf nuts, and this is what they love to do. And they love to compete when they do it. And has been a really good formula of success for us.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, just another kind of just for past players, one thing that a lot of people may not know about UJ Golf is that typically we have nicknames. A lot of us have nicknames.
Yeah.
What would you say your favorite one from past players? What would you say one of your favorite ones is?
God, we've had a lot of good ones. We got a good one on our team right now, Caleb. Man, we call him Garth.
Yeah,
we were going to ask that after him. Like, what's the one on the current team? And I was like, it's definitely Garth.
It's got to be Garth. Garth from
Wayne's World,
right?
Wayne's World, yeah, because he had the big glasses and the mullet.
When Caleb showed up at school last year, it looked like there was something living in his hair. Like, I mean, you got this kid from Maine, you know, and I literally had not met him until I came to school last year, and you know, the first day I see him, I mean, his hair is just like it was so long.
Like a bird's nest back.
Yeah, it was
there,
bird's
almost.
nest back. And it's thick too, like, yeah.
We played golf a few months ago, and you told me the nickname Garth, and I was thinking, why didn't you call him what? Because Garth had blonde hair.
Right.
But I guess the glasses make sense, because I was thinking, why wouldn't you just call him Wayne from Wayne's World? Because Wayne's got the darker hair and looks more like Caleb in the hair, but Garth does make sense with the glasses.
Yeah.
And Garth just stuck. It was just perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was perfect.
it's perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect for him.
He's embraced it, which you got to like.
Yeah.
He embraced it. But gosh, we've had a lot of good ones over the years.
Sure.
You know, Brennan Todd, we called him Grease because his short game was so good. He was just so greasy. He could get it up and down from anywhere. You know, Ryan Hibble, we called him Scrounge because he was always scrounging around for a dime or a nickel somewhere. You know, David Miller used to always accuse him of putting gum on the bottom of his shoe and stepping on somebody's ball mark with a quarter to get it. You know, so we called him. And plus, he could scrounge around the golf course. He could hit one green, but he'd scrounge in a nice, 70 or something.
Yeah, last time Kiz was up here, he was talking about how Hib only hit one green and beat him. He missed 17 greens in qualifying one morning and beat Kiz.
Yeah, he could definitely scrounge it out. Guy, we called Jason Hodges Rudy because he looked like Rudy Rudiger from the movie. But probably the one that fits the most perfect was Lee McCoy calling him the Shermanator from American Pie because he looked like the Shermanator.
Looks exactly like him.
I mean, it was perfect. So that's probably my favorite because it just fit him to a T.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, had to.
To the point where his dad, when he would come to tournaments, we actually called him Big Sherm.
Yeah, there's some
a lot of nicknames.
Yeah, tons of them.
Yes.
Tons of them.
So
you could honestly put a mini book together with descriptions and nicknames for each one. But
they're all fun.
Yeah.
And everybody always would generally embrace it and have fun with it.
Yeah,
So.
for sure. Well, I know you like yourself some UGA football. Obviously, you travel to away games even.
Yeah.
Obviously, you make it to the home ones. But what do you think? What was your favorite game from last season that you either traveled or was at home?
Gosh, from last season?
Yeah, past season.
God, the Ole Miss game at home was fun. That was a good game. I loved watching the Florida game from Hawaii at whatever it was, 10 in the morning. And watching us whip them up pretty good. They were all pretty good last year, but it's hard to really find one that stuck out other than maybe the Orange Bowl. I like that one. That was fun.
You have a pretty good record the past couple of years. You were in LA for the TCU game as well.
Yeah. I was at the Orange Bowl against Michigan. I was at the Orange Bowl this year. I was in Indianapolis when we beat Alabama.
What's the best UGA football game you've ever been to?
The most entertaining game, best atmosphere, everything that happened in this game, which I would love to, again, be a part of watching that game all over again, was the Rose Bowl when we beat Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that game had everything in it, and it was electric, and, man, what a great football game that was.
Yeah.
Loved it.
That one was pretty special.
That was pretty special.
Yeah,
but you got to remember, I go way back. So I was at the Sugar Bowl in 1980 when we won the Sugar Bowl, when we won the national championship down there. So that was pretty good
That's
too.
throwback.
Yeah, that was a throwback. That was pretty fun.
That is.
I was young. I was only 21 years old then, so I was having a big time in New Orleans.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
All right, so switching gears a little bit to our season, our spring season. What spot or like that we're traveling to this spring season are you most excited for that you're like, I can't wait to get to this tournament? And
all of them.
Yeah.
Man, I love all our spots. You know, I think one of the greatest things about being the golf coach is that you get to pick your schedule and figure out where you're going, right? Well, I've been doing it so long that I just try to hit not only the best spots, but the best tournaments with the best fields, with the best competition and so forth. But I mean, I love starting out in Puerto Rico because every day right now I'm looking at that forecast out there and it's 84 and sunny, 84 and sunny, 84 and sunny. I mean, it never changes and it's awesome. But then you follow that up with going out to Las Vegas, which again, what a great golf course, Southern Highlands, and how they roll out the red carpet, and it's a great field, and you know, just everything about being out in Vegas is fun. I love going down to Lake Oconee, to Great Waters, to that event. Again, I think it's a great golf course and such a fun field, and they do such a great job. And then this year we're going to a new place out there in San Francisco at Harding Park, which hosts the PGA Championship.
Yep.
I've never been there, but man, I'm so excited about going there because I hear it's awesome. Great golf course, great field, 24 teams, so it'll be a great event. And then of course Calusa Pines is a pretty special place too, and being able to do that. And then we followed up with going to Sea Island. I mean, it's kind of like every week, it's like a dream week.
Yeah.
But if I had to pick a favorite one, man, I just don't know because they're all so good in their own way. But if I win money in Vegas, that'll be my favorite.
That's always a good week.
That's always a good one.
Week.
But this one's going to be fun this year. Because I know we've got some boosters coming out that are going to come out and support us and so forth, and I'm fortunate to be tagging along with them to go see Chicago one night in concert. So
that'll be
fun.
Yeah. That'll be real good.
That'll be a fun time.
So we're trying to come up with recurring segments for the show, and I don't know, this may be a potential idea, but there's a lot of hypotheticals. Would you rather play this course or this and that? There's a ton in golf. And one came to mind to me a few weeks ago. I feel like always one of the options is Augusta, or would you rather play Augusta National? Would you rather play Augusta by yourself or with Tiger? Like, there's a ton of hypotheticals there, but obviously with us being in somewhat close proximity to Augusta, you guys are fortunate enough to get down there a little bit more so than a lot of other schools have the opportunity to. But here's a slightly different one. So Augusta National, some crazy hypothetical. You only get to play a 4-hole stretch. So you can choose any 4-hole stretch. It's got to be consecutive 4 holes. So whichever order, I'd love to hear you guys talk a little bit about what your 4-hole stretch would be. Would you start on number 1, just go 1 through 4? Because, I mean, I feel like you got to go back 9, but I'd love to hear what 4-hole stretch you would want to play at Augusta if you could only play a 4-hole stretch ever again.
I know what mine would be.
Yeah.
Mine would be 13, 14, 15, and 16.
Yeah.
That'd be a pretty good stretch right there.
Yeah.
Because I could go 12 and leave out 16, but I think 16 is a great hole. I think 16 is such an underrated hole against 12, because so much stuff happens
Especially
at 12.
with the pin placements. I mean, you can get it up on the high on the shelf, and it's so hard to get there, or you can make it really fun and put it back left and try and feed something back there.
It just seems like you see more drama at 16. You see the guy clunk it in the lake on 12, but 16, you get those balls that might go in and curl in and come back to the flag.
I mean, it's arguably one of the greatest shots ever on TV was back behind 16 green.
Yes,
so.
One of the greatest Nike commercials that wasn't even a commercial.
Yeah, honestly.
Exactly.
Yeah, that worked out perfectly.
So that would be my stretch. I don't know about you guys.
I think it'd probably be the same for me. 12, I don't know. 12, last year when I played that hole gave me some trouble. It was brilliant. I found the water. I might have found the water a couple times there.
Freshman.
Yeah, it was a rookie mistake. Yeah, I don't know. 13, 14, 15, 16 is pretty sick. I mean, just like the green complex on 14 is unreal. And 13's obvious. I think 13's probably like, I mean, I play a hook, so like I love 13. Like that's just like that's like the coolest hole ever to me. So yeah.
I would never include 17 and 18 because it's all uphill and I hate walking down the hill.
I'm probably going to say 15, 16, 17, 18, just because, like, you got to play 16. I think that's a super fun hole. I haven't played it yet, but, and then obviously, like, walking up 18, I think would be super cool if we can play that. But those would be my 4 for sure. Because I've heard 12, that green is pretty hard to hit for sure.
And if I went to the front side and did the same thing, I'd probably go 2, 3, 4, and 5. Those would be probably the ones I'd want to play.
Oh.
Because 2, I got a chance to make a birdie. 3, I probably have a chance to make a birdie. 4, I got no chance of making a birdie. 5, I got no chance of making a birdie probably.
5,
but 5, you get to watch. You go good to go putt over the elephants.
Yeah, that green on 5 is absolutely nuts.
Yeah,
absolutely nuts. But yeah, I think that's
awesome.
I think that's just about all we have for you today. So I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah,
I appreciate you guys having me on.
First guest of the Dawg Leg Show.
Well, good. I've enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Coach.
Absolutely.